Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is what we like to call the Bible Bistro. Come on in, sit down. It's hot and fresh. We got a good warm fire going for you. Let me just remind you that while you're here in the Bible Bistro, you may want to check out our website. It's a place on the interweb where we can meet, you and I, and it's called my-dailydose.com. Now, you can go to my-dailydose.com and you can find links, you can find rich content, you can find access to other social media sites, our blog page. There's all kinds of stuff on there, so check it out at my-dailydose.com. Looking today at verses 7, 8, and 9. Here, right in the middle of our passage, we're doing 1 through 14, so this is right smack dab in the middle, and we're still talking about the pursuer. We introduced the pursuer back in verse 3. The Lord is going to fight against the pursuers. They seek the soul of David. They esteem his affliction. They want him to be afflicted. And the Lord is doing a work to protect David by putting them in dark and slippery places. Boy, that's a scary thought, isn't it? It just makes me tremble all over when I think about being someplace dark and slippery, because you don't know which way you're going to go and you don't know what's on either side. Now we come to 7, 8, and 9. For in vain they hide their net in a pit for me. In vain they have behaved shamefully against my soul. May ruin come upon him without his knowledge. May his net which he has hidden catch him, and may he fall into the pit. So my soul will rejoice in the Lord. It will rejoice in his salvation. All right, so they're in a dark, slippery place. Apparently they don't know that, because it says in vain they have hidden their net. We have that twice. We have in vain twice here. At the beginning of both of these phrases, in vain they hide their net in a pit. Now, that's not something that's unfamiliar to us. We've seen it before. The wicked man does that. That's how he behaves. He hides, he crouches around the corners and in the dark alleyways and waits on those to come by for him to attack, to pounce on. They're doing that to David. They've set a net, they've dug a pit, they're going to try to catch him. But they've done it in vain. Why? Because the Lord's going to do a work. May ruin come upon him. Now, the ruin that David is praying for is ruin that's going to come upon him, notice, without his knowledge. Without his knowledge. So he never sees it coming. He never sees what's about to happen to him. He's in a dark and slippery place, and he doesn't even know it. May his net, which he has hidden, catch him. May he fall into the pit. Now remember, the pit he dug, he laid the net, and now instead of catching the psalmist, it's going to catch the pursuer. So my soul will rejoice in the Lord. It will rejoice in his salvation. So the Lord is doing a saving work for David, for the psalmist. The net has caught him, that is the pursuer, and he has fallen into the pit. Now remember, we said in verse 6, when I was commenting on that yesterday, their way is dark and slippery. With that as the background, you know he's going to fall. And then you see the prayer, may he fall into the pit. Well, he's poised to fall, and yet he doesn't even know it. Without his knowledge, this happens. There are so many folks who are standing on the edge of the pit in a dark and slippery spot. They don't even know their ruin is right next door to them. Folks, listen, you need to call on the Lord. That is why I implore you. Every time David says that he calls on the Lord, I try to implore you, do that for yourself. Call on him. Do not wait. Do not wait another moment. You don't know where you stand. And if you don't know where you stand, then you certainly need to call on the Lord. Repent of your sin and turn to Christ. You must do that today. This passage, if this doesn't encourage that, I don't know what it encourages. Call on him right now, and then your soul will rejoice in the Lord, and in his salvation you will glory. All right, well, I want you to join me tomorrow, verses 10, 11, and 12 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.